Staying sober is one of the hardest things a human being can do. Not getting sober, staying sober. Getting sober often happens in a moment of crisis. Something breaks, something scares you, something finally hurts more than the substance helps. In those moments, there is clarity. Fear can be motivating, consequences can be loud, people might rally around you, you might feel determined, even hopeful. Staying sober is different. Staying sober is quiet. It is repetitive. It happens on ordinary days. It happens when no one is watching. It happens when nothing dramatic is happening, and that is exactly what makes it so difficult. Staying sober means living inside your own nervous system without the escape hatch you used for years. It means feeling feelings fully. It means sitting with discomfort that used to be numbed, blurred, softened, or postponed. It means learning how to exist in your own body again, sometimes for the first time since childhood. And that is not easy. One of the hardest parts of staying sober is that life does not suddenly become easier. In fact, in many ways, it becomes harder before it becomes better. When you remove a substance, you remove a coping mechanism. Even if it was a destructive coping mechanism, it still served a purpose. It regulated your emotions, it gave you relief, it gave you quiet, it gave you energy, it gave you confidence, it gave you sleep, it gave you escape. When it is gone, the underlying pain does not disappear. It comes forward. Old grief surfaces, anxiety sharpens, trauma memories feel closer, shame speaks louder, loneliness feels heavier, boredom becomes unbearable, stress feels raw, anger feels dangerous, sadness feels endless. This is often the stage where people think sobriety is failing them. They say, I got sober and I feel worse. I thought this was supposed to help. I thought I would feel better by now. I thought the cravings would stop. I thought the pain would go away. What is actually happening is that your nervous system is relearning how to function without anesthesia. Substances suppress signals. When they are removed, the signals come back online. This does not mean you are weak. It does not mean sobriety is wrong for you. It means your system is healing, and healing is loud. Cravings are one of the most misunderstood parts of sobriety. People often think cravings mean you want to use again. That is not always true. Cravings are often a signal that something else is happening in the body or mind. You might be hungry. You might be overtired. You might be overstimulated. You might be emotionally overwhelmed. You might be lonely. You might be grieving. You might be triggered. The brain remembers that a substance once solved these states quickly. It does not care that the solution was destructive. It only remembers relief. So it suggests it again. This does not mean you actually want the substance. It means your brain wants regulation. One of the most important coping skills in sobriety is learning to pause and ask a different question. Not, why do I want to use, but what am I actually needing right now? Sometimes the answer is simple. Food, water, sleep, quiet, movement. Sometimes the answer is harder. Safety, comfort, reassurance, connection, rest from responsibility, relief from pain. If you respond to the need instead of the craving often softens on its own. Another brutal reality of staying sober is that you start to see clearly the life you were living while using. Relationships that were unhealthy become obvious. Jobs that were unbearable become impossible to tolerate. Boundaries you never had suddenly feel necessary. Old wounds you avoided start asking for attention. Sobriety does not just remove a substance, it removes denial. That clarity can feel unbearable at times. You may realize how much time you lost, how many choices you regret, how many people you hurt, how much damage was done, how far behind you feel. Shame thrives here. Shame tells you that you are permanently broken, that you ruined everything, that you are too late, that you do not deserve a better life. Shame is one of the biggest relapse triggers there is, because substances temporarily silence shame. Learning to cope with shame without numbing it is essential to staying sober. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is changing how you talk to yourself when shame appears. Instead of saying, I am a failure, try saying, I am a human who learned to survive the only way I knew how at the time. Instead of saying, I ruined everything, try saying, I did harm while in pain and I am choosing differently now. Instead of saying I should be better by now, try saying, healing does not run on a schedule. Self-compassion is not self-indulgence. It is regulation. A regulated nervous system is far less likely to relapse. Another hard truth about sobriety is boredom. No one talks about this enough. When you remove substances, you remove stimulation. Dopamine drops. The brain feels flat. Life can feel colorless for a while. This is especially true if you use substances to feel alive, creative, social, or motivated. Early sobriety can feel painfully dull. Your brain needs time to relearn how to experience pleasure naturally. This can take months, sometimes longer. During this time, boredom can feel like restlessness, irritation, depression, or emptiness. Many people mistake this for meaninglessness. It is not meaninglessness. It is neurochemical recalibration. One way to cope with this is to intentionally introduce gentle sources of pleasure, not intensity. Walking, music, warm showers, sunlight, stretching, cooking, art, writing, being in nature. Simple routines. Do not wait to feel motivated. Motivation comes after action, not before. Another challenge of staying sober is social isolation. Many people lose entire social circles when they get sober. Not because they did anything wrong, but because the relationship was built around substance use. This can be devastating. Humans need connection. Loneliness is a powerful relapse trigger. You do not need dozens of people. You need a few safe ones. If that feels impossible, start small. Online support groups, recovery meetings, therapy, one person you trust, even structured interactions like classes or volunteer work. Connection does not have to be deep at first. It just has to be consistent. One of the most dangerous myths about sobriety is that once you are stable, you no longer need support. Support is not a temporary phase. It is a long-term protective factor. Life will continue to throw stress at you. Loss, illness, financial strain, relationship conflict, trauma reminders. Staying sober means planning for hard days, not just good ones. Ask yourself regularly, what will help me stay regulated when things go wrong? Write it down. Have a list for crisis moments, who to call, what to do, where to go, how to ground yourself. You are not weak for needing a plan. You are wise. Another overlooked struggle in sobriety is identity. When you stop using, you may not know who you are anymore. The substance may have been part of your personality, your coping style, your social identity, your creative process, your confidence. Letting go of it can feel like losing a part of yourself. In reality, you are not losing yourself. You are meeting yourself. This takes time. You do not need to reinvent your entire life at once. Let yourself be in transition. Let yourself be unfinished. Sobriety is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming present. There will be days when staying sober feels pointless, when the pain feels louder than the reward, when you miss the relief more than you value the stability. On those days, zoom out. You are not staying sober for the feeling of sobriety. You are staying sober for the life that becomes possible because of it. Clearer thinking, more honest relationships. A nervous system that can heal, a body that can recover, a future that is not constantly at risk. Progress in sobriety is often invisible day to day, but it compounds. One more thing that needs to be said clearly. Relapse does not mean you failed. It means something overwhelmed your system. If relapse happens, respond with curiosity, not cruelty. What support was missing? What pain went unaddressed? What stress exceeded your capacity? Shame after relapse keeps people stuck. Compassion helps people return. Staying sober is not about willpower. It is about regulation, support, honesty, and care. If you are sober right now, even if it feels hard, you are doing something profoundly brave. If you are struggling, that does not mean you are broken. It means you are human in recovery. You are not weak for finding this difficult. It is difficult, and you are not alone. If this resonated with you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps this content reach people who might need it. And if you want, you can leave a comment sharing what has helped you cope, or simply to say you were here and listening.